Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to blend into the background? They don't put themselves out there, don't seek the spotlight, and don't seem to care about being famous. These individuals might have a Sigma personality type. Sigma males are a rare breed of man who don't fit into the typical alpha or beta male archetypes. They operate on their own terms and often fly under the radar, making them almost invisible in society. But why do Sigma males turn invisible? Here are 9 reasons why they prefer to remain unseen. Number 1. They'd rather watch than be watched. Sigma males are the type who prefer to stay in the shadows, observing everything very closely. They find comfort in the background, where they can see what's happening without being the center of attention. Being under the microscope feels invasive. It's not about being shy or unsure of themselves. They're confident in who they are but choose to maintain a low profile. This choice allows them to understand their environment and people better, gathering insights without the distraction of being watched and analyzed themselves. They see more, learn more, and understand more because they're not caught up in performing or meeting someone else's expectations. It's a strategic move, just like a hunter watching its prey. By staying invisible, they keep their cards close to their chest, giving them an advantage in any situation. Unlike those in the spotlight, Sigma males don't have to worry about others knowing their next move. This approach allows them to move quietly and make decisions after getting the full picture of what's happening around them, without the unnecessary noise or drama that often accompanies visibility. Number 2. They hustle in silence. While alpha males often boast about their accomplishments and beta males might seek validation from others, Sigma males prefer to hustle in silence. Whether it's advancing in their career or starting their own business, they don't need to announce it to the world. They're the guys who work hard behind the scenes without making a fuss about it. No bragging on social media or fishing for compliments. They believe in putting in the effort quietly and letting their achievements speak for themselves. It's not about being secretive, but a personal choice to stay focused and not be sidetracked by outside opinions or distractions. Not to mention that not all your friends will have their best interests at heart. By staying invisible, Sigma males can avoid the jealousy and competition that often arise when others see you trying to succeed. They'd rather stay under the radar, doing their thing, and achieve their objectives without the fanfare and the pressure of being in the spotlight. This approach not only keeps distractions at bay, but also adds an element of surprise when they finally reveal what they've been working on. Their achievements often come as a shock to most because nobody saw them coming. They're not on the radar until they want to be, making their successes all the more impactful. They don't do this for attention or recognition. They do it for themselves. Number 3. They don't need your attention. Do you know those guys who just do their own thing and don't seem to care much about what anyone else thinks? Well, that's because they genuinely don't. Sigma males have this aura of not needing validation from others to feel good about themselves. They're on their own path, and your opinion isn't required for their journey. This mindset is pretty unusual because it means they're not out here trying to impress everyone. They know their own worth and don't need constant attention to reaffirm it. While alpha males need to make sure everyone knows they're in charge to feel good about themselves, Sigma males don't need that validation. They just find worth and satisfaction from within. It's a unique kind of freedom, and one that's hard for others to understand. While the rest might be chasing approval and recognition, these individuals are chilling, living life on their own terms. This whole vibe makes them blend into the background because they're not jumping up and down, waving their arms for attention. They're just doing their thing, and you might not even notice. Number 4. They avoid being the target of gossip. Unlike those who thrive on being the latest topic of conversation, Sigma males steer clear of the drama. They have zero tolerance for gossip. It's not just a simple dislike. It's a profound aversion that drives them to keep to themselves. They hate it when people spend time talking about others behind their backs instead of minding their own business. While some find it entertaining, Sigma males find it pointless and destructive. The thing is, they believe in a simple, straightforward lifestyle where actions speak louder than words. They see gossip as not only a waste of time, but as something that breeds negativity and distracts from personal growth and productivity. Avoiding the spotlight also means you won't end up being the talk of the town. The more visible you are, the more likely you are to become the target of idle chatter. Sigma males prefer to remain invisible and keep themselves out of the gossip loop, maintaining their peace and focus. They keep their personal life personal and their professional achievements low-key, leaving little room for others to speculate or spread rumors about them. In their world, silence is golden. It's not just about keeping drama away. It's about preserving their energy for things that actually matter, like carving out a fulfilling life on their own terms, far away from the noise and needless chatter. Number 5. They're upset because of something you said or did. Sigma males often fade into the background when someone has wronged them, especially if it's something that can't be easily resolved or forgiven. They don't want to make a scene or cause unnecessary drama, so they choose to quietly distance themselves instead. Sometimes, it's better to step back and let things cool off before addressing the issue, especially if it's something that they feel strongly about. This also allows them time to think and process their emotions before responding, rather than reacting impulsively in the heat of the moment. Think of it as their way of hitting the pause button, taking a step back to reassess the situation without letting emotions cloud their judgment. They're not into confrontations or lengthy discussions explaining why they're hurt or upset. Instead, they go invisible, silently sorting through their feelings and thoughts. This silent retreat isn't about giving the cold shoulder. It's their form of self-care. They believe in handling conflicts internally, mulling over what happened and why it bothered them so much. Keeping their feelings close to their chest, they often appear unaffected on the surface. But underneath, they're reevaluating the situation. It's not about holding grudges. It's more about finding peace within themselves before deciding the best course of action. Number 6. They take a break from social media. Unlike most people who are glued to their feeds, constantly scrolling and posting, Sigma males disappear from social media now and then. It's their way of hitting the reset button. While everyone else is busy showing off their every move and meal online, they prefer to step back. They find peace in laying low, away from the buzz and the constant ping of notifications. Think about it. No comparisons, no pressure to look perfect or live a so-called dream life. Just pure, unfiltered real life. This break from social media isn't about missing out. It's about catching up with themselves. In a world that never stops posting, liking, and commenting, a Sigma male finds value in quiet moments. It's not being antisocial. It's choosing to live without an audience. By vanishing from the online world, they keep their lives theirs, avoiding the dopamine rush that comes with every scroll or like. It's all about balance and taking control of their attention, rather than letting social media dictate it for them. Number 7. They avoid being controlled by others. Sigma males have a real issue with anyone trying to dictate their life. They are all about personal freedom and making their own choices without someone else's hands on the steering wheel. It's not just about being stubborn. It's about self-respect. They're the kind of people who believe in steering their own ship, living life on their terms. When they feel like someone is trying to control them, whether it's a boss, a partner, or even just societal expectations, they pull back. Going invisible becomes their way of reclaiming their freedom and taking back control. They're not up for being puppets in someone else's show. Fading into the background means they get to avoid those power struggles and keep doing things their way. It's their tactic to stay true to themselves, without having to fight over it. They'd rather walk away than play a game that's rigged against them. In a world that's all about influence and being influenced, preferring to stay invisible is their way of keeping their independence intact. Why fit in when you can go your own way, right? Number 8. They are going through a tough time. When life hits hard, some guys just prefer to step back and disappear. When everything feels too heavy, too much, they find it easier to deal with it alone. It's not about being dramatic or seeking attention. Actually, it's the opposite. It's their way of coping and sorting through the mess without anyone else's gaze or judgment. Vanishing off the radar lets them deal with their issues without needing to fake a smile or explain what's going down. This isn't about shutting people out forever. It's more like hitting pause, taking some time to breathe, and maybe licking their wounds in private. They figure it's better to step away than to drag others down with their mood or problems. Dealing with stuff in solitude lets them process their thoughts and feelings without any outside noise. Once they've had a moment to themselves, to really get a grip and maybe find a way through the storm, they often come back, ready to face the world again. It's their unique way of healing, finding resilience within silence. Number 9. They need to recharge their social batteries. For Sigma males, sometimes the social scene gets to be just too much. It's like being at a party where the music never stops blaring. After a while, it's not fun anymore. It's exhausting. That's when they decide it's time to bail, not forever, but just long enough to get their peace of mind back. Imagine spending all your energy trying to keep up with conversation after conversation, nodding along even when you desperately want a break. It drains you physically and mentally. This stepping back isn't about disliking people or being antisocial. It's more like recognizing when your social battery is flashing red and you need some quiet to charge back up. We all have this internal battery that powers our social interactions. For some, this battery lasts longer. They can go on for days mingling and chatting. But for these quiet types, their battery runs out faster. Once it does, they need to go off-grid, enjoy some alone time, and do their own thing. It's during this downtime that they rejuvenate, finding their center again. Once they're charged up, they're ready to be a part of the social scene again. Without this timeout, they'd probably end up feeling irritable and overwhelmed, which isn't fun for anyone involved.